So 75% of your subjects are going to come from 25% of your sites, and that's a failure. So let's fix that. We want better enrollment with fewer sites. It's great that the world is so small, you know, that we can get anywhere on a plane in 20 hours or less. But why do we have to go all over the world to get our patients? Why can't we do better recruitment and better site selection? And it all starts with a detailed feasibility. There are some myths about site selection. I just want to take you through them. There's always time for a detailed feasibility. Myth, fact. Yeah, so I think there's some giggles in the room because we know we really don't have any time to start up. There's not. The most expensive sites deliver the best patients. I know it's true because, you know, my CMO said so, and my marketing team, and it's a myth. So I hope I'm not spoiling any surprises in the industry here. But I think we have to, I ran the data. You know, when I pay a high startup fee for a site, I usually get better quality data. So you kind of get what you pay for. So I don't think that putting all your sites in a spreadsheet and sorting them by cost is how we should do site selection. So when I talk about a data site selection, I'm not saying let's line them up and see what they cost. There's a lot of pieces of data we can look at. High startup fees will be recovered. So hopefully, if you're doing things right. High recruiters, they help you with your timelines, don't they? Aren't they awesome? When you can get like 20 patients in 1 week at a site, that's the best site.
What site was that again?
The best site. So again, are you telling me this is a myth? So yeah, high recruiters can be great, but you know, as monitors and program managers and trial managers, we have to make sure that the sites are recruiting the patients that we want. So I hear this all the time. The patient funnel, it makes me crazy. Sorry, it's not a funnel because if it were a funnel, then eventually everything would get through. It's a patient filter. we are looking for specific patients, and if we can't analyze them, then there's no spending all the resources to recruit them. So highest recruiting sites are not always your best sites. It's a myth. Sorry. We select them. It's really great. We get our questionnaire together. We send it out. We get back the responses, and then we line them up on the board, and we sit around and badmouth them and decide who we want to work with. And if you're thinking like that, then you're not going to be successful in your trial because our sites are choosing us. And if you really know that, then you're going to use some of the techniques that I give you tonight because the sites are choosing us. I think we have an obligation to stand out. Your sites want you to show up. Like, they want to look forward to your visit. If you're in there as a hall monitor, you haven't put your audience needs first. And at a hospital or an academic center, you have coordinators who are doing all the work and getting none of it done. So I encourage you to try to think about their perspective and do something different. Like, you're tired of receiving, Jerry, are you tired of receiving the same questionnaire over and over again that you know you filled out not 10 months ago? And they've sent you the same questionnaire and it's 20 pages and that's outrageous. So we're going to talk about that. Any doctor can be a clinical investigator. I don't know if you guys knew that.
Any doctor is one.
So it might be a myth. We'll take a poll. Your KOLs, for example, so they're your key opinion leaders. They may not enroll. I just want to let you guys in on this secret. They may have other projects that are more interesting to them. And it's okay to have them in your trial. I mean, they're going to be an author on your paper at the end of the day. And you may have good KOLs, but don't build your whole strategy around your KOLs. So I don't know if this has ever happened to you guys, but enrollment's kind of lagging. I mean, this never happens on my studies because they rock. But let's pretend in an alternate universe that I were working on a trial and we weren't getting the reach as a very special patient. And so, you know, the directors come to me and they say, yeah, I heard there's a lot of patients in South America. Let's go. So I think you have to prepare for that conversation and you need to come armed with the facts. The facts are possibly, it may be a good idea, especially if you're looking for a patient with inclusion-exclusion criteria that are so stringent that you can't find them, you know, domestically. Maybe the standard of care here precludes you from finding, or maybe your product's just not that innovative, and you know you need to go somewhere where other products aren't marketed. So we do this. I mean, we do global trials, but it's not true that we're going to meet our recruitment goals and timelines. It could be. It could be. I mean, it's your job to manage to make sure that's true. Instincts are everything. One of the great things about being a trial manager for 9 years now is I know everything. So when I have a gut instinct about a site, I'm oh, I'm probably going to observe only the factors that reinforce my opinion. And this happens a lot. And when your boss is doing it, you just have to nod your head. But I think it's something to be aware of. As much as, we send out the questionnaire, but we already know what we're going to get back. Like in a lot of situations, we've already made up our mind about what we're using. And the questionnaire is more of like a regulatory exercise or an artifact to file in the trial master file, rather than what it should be, which is actually like engaging with that site and having a conversation. So I'm not saying don't go with your gut, because it served me well, but I'm not so naive that I don't check my data. So I trust, but verify. And I'll tell you some of the ways that you can check your data. By knowing what you did well and knowing where you could be better, you're going to be more efficient in that trial. So I encourage you to make time for lessons learned, because we're trying to bring new therapies to patients, and we owe it to the patients to do that exercise. So, did anybody have another myth, just for fun? Or I covered them all, right? Every myth and all of the trials. So if you think of one, send me a note.